To look at me, I'm tall, I have broad shoulders, I have a low voice and a beard. You may not see me on your first time you met me and think, he must be gay. But at 16, I was about this tall, about this wide. My voice cracked a lot more often, and I was on a journey to self-discovery. Every night I would sit at my computer desk till 2 a.m. on chat sites, talking to people all over the world, flirting, I suppose getting hit on every once in a while, watching videos that no one my age should have been watching. And I'd done this for 2 years. One day I decided that it was time for me to just accept it. At 2 a.m. every night I would go to bed and pray that God would make these feelings go away. And after a long, long time I realized that they weren't going to. So one Saturday morning, I sat down at the same place where I wrote this speech. A computer screen, a keyboard, terrified, maybe even horrified, with a task at hand and nothing to do but start writing. I wrote a letter to my parents. I started out, to those with freak-out tendencies, don't freak out. Which I realize now probably scared them worst of all. I kept reading and eventually I made it to the end. I forgot to mention, we were on the car ride home from family night, as my mom called it, at a local restaurant. I think my mom started to cry when I said the words gay. That sucked a little bit, but that's okay. I expected that. My dad asked me lots of questions. How was I sure? Which I didn't go into too much detail. My mom said, that she was afraid about how people would treat me, the way that I would be received as I continued to grow older. Genuine concern, and I can appreciate that. I forgot to mention, my dad is a Mennonite pastor. Not exactly the most comfortable person to be telling your deepest, darkest secret to. On the way home, there were lots of awkward silences. We knew we had to stop and buy my mom a candle. So Dad ran out of the car, and it was just me and Mom. That's when she started to ask the really uncomfortable questions. Do you really want to get AIDS? Not every gay person has AIDS. And just because I'm gay doesn't mean that I'm doing this or that. Well, don't you want to have kids? Yes, Mom, of course I want to have a family. Again, a genuine concern for someone who wants to be a grandma more than anything. Luckily, Dad came back fast. It seemed like the car drive home went by like that from that point on. I made it. I'd done it. I went to bed that night and woke up the next day to 2 of the most love-filled emails I've ever received. My mom basically restated what she'd always said. She told me that she'll never be at peace with it, but that I will always be her baby. My dad, again, the pastor, told me that he believed that there was a spectrum between gay and straight, that not many people were on either end, and that most people were somewhere in the middle. This meant that my dad was saying it was okay, that he agreed. He told me that he wished he would have known sooner so he could have walked with me on the journey. From that day forward, and to this day, as I encourage all of you to do, I made the decision to love from the center of who I am. And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.